I'm out not too far from camp. We're just here on quarantine area, and like I mentioned this morning on the drive, this is not a full-on WEwalk, although we are walking, so I guess it does count as such. But just with the rain yesterday and us not being able to do the walk since Thursday's very exciting episode, we thought we'll just come out a little bit. Pete and Herman. Pete's been working a lot on the configuration of things, just a little bit more with antennas and things like that. So we just want to test it as well, make sure it's all working. And from the fact that I haven't heard the radio yet, I'm sure it is all working, and I'm sure you can hear me 100%. Just a few things to explain a little bit briefly. I'm not going to go into it much now. Eventually we'll forget about the technical side of it and just enjoy the experience. But the other day with the elephants, we were in relatively thicker bush, and terrain was a bit tricky and so on, which is part of the reason why the signal was so difficult. And we do have a limited range at the moment. Obviously over time, the same as the game drive, it will evolve and get better and further and stronger and farther. But for now we've got a more limited area, and we just want to see how it does today on quarantine. We've done a few tests here before, but it's nice and open. It's a very pretty walk. It's going to be literally just like a Saturday morning walk in the sun more, and we'll look at a few things, a few tracks and this and that, and maybe if there's animals around we'll have a look, but for the moment it doesn't seem so. But it's more just a bit of a test. Please come along. As always, we tend to just sort of rehearse things live, which is for me the best way to do it. It keeps it fun. Herman's behind the camera. He'll be out behind the camera almost always for now on the walks. Pete is where the vehicle is, where we're doing the relay through, and further back, and Superior in the live control center. And Simon's also going to follow us around just a little bit in the beginning, just to get a little bit of sort of behind the scenes of the live aspect, behind the scenes kind of thing. So yeah, let's see how it goes. Let's go walk around, guys. I'm not going to give you too much of a pre-walk thing. It's something actually. Actually, maybe if we can get a few responses from it, not necessarily even today, but like I said the other day, typically on walks with guests, which I've done many times before, you'd give a bit of a pre-walk brief. Now obviously Herman and myself know each other, we've done this together, and we will still do this together many times. So in terms of his behavior, I know that he knows what or how we communicate and what we do. But the basic things is typically you'll stay behind me, means that I can just see tracks and things and animals and things hopefully before we bump into them. And at some occasions I might even ask Herman to wait back a little bit, maybe while I explore something, maybe something I've heard or seen, maybe on a termite mound, or we might even get into trees occasionally. I'll probably climb trees every now and again to look around as well, and just to have fun. You know, I like climbing trees. So it's all just part of the process, and I'm already talking too much. Let's go walk. This is one of the areas we'll probably walk on quite often. Quarantine, the area that we're going to walk through now, is it's very scenic, it's very pretty. I've always liked it. We've seen some magnificent animal sightings on here. It's nice and open. We've had brilliant leopard and cheetah here before, elephant, buffalo, general game. Often there's kudu and waterbuck. So we will probably walk here quite often. It's a very pretty place, and especially now in sort of the earlier days of the walk, I think it's also a very friendly walking area. So part of what we're going to test this morning is how far can we go and still be able to speak and see clearly. Curious as well, especially after our fantastic first walk. This morning we saw a beautiful herd of elephants. It was really an amazing sighting. They were just so super relaxed with the vehicle, even though they had little ones, and we were sitting right next to them. And they were only down that way half a kilometer. So I'm wondering where they've gone. We didn't see them on the way back. They might have moved on already, but they might still be around as well. We'll see just now. If I can get a nice high point, maybe we'll just get up high and have a look around. Sure, it is very bright out here. The sun itself is very bright. Herman was mentioning earlier as well, and you probably noticed already, we've still got beautiful clouds. If you look around, Herman can give you a quick sort of view around us just to give an idea of what we can see. That's looking towards the sort of east that you're looking now, and then all the way around us. One of those pretty, almost summer-like skies now. This is potentially, not definitely, but potentially could build up to a bit of rain later today. Certainly if it gets hot like it is now, and it keeps getting hotter, then it's a very, very good chance that we might get a bit of rain this afternoon. Guys, and one of the things we'll do often, we'll do a bit of it this morning, but just looking around, obviously there's lots of signs around. Our quarantine, again, one of the benefits of this area, especially this time of year, is that it's very, very open. You can see most things quite easily at a distance. But just walking generally, you're always aware of a lot of things around you. You're always building a picture constantly of your immediate surroundings, obviously. In other words, where you put your feet, that you don't fall over a stick or stand on a snake or trip over something. And further out as well, what's in my immediate range of sort of my comfort zone, what's further out, what might I hear in the distance, maybe a branch snapping far away. I mean, you can hear a lion roaring at 4 kilometers in this kind of terrain. You can hear an elephant snapping a branch or pushing a tree over probably at 1 kilometer, maybe more. So you're constantly aware of everything, literally from what you've got in your hands and under your feet to what potentially is happening further out, even up to the weather. So it's a constant process of just building little bits of information into what your surroundings is and what exists there. So your alertness or awareness, especially with more time and more experience, becomes quite part of everything. I think that's maybe the best way to say it. But the fact that you can hear chin-spot batters calling, and I can hear a hoopoe calling, and I heard a wood dove, that's the Afrikaans name, emerald-spotted dove calling earlier. All those things just telling you that the bird life in general, even in the area at the moment, is relaxed. I haven't heard a single alarm call from a little bird. There's nothing that's worried about, even small things. So you do that constantly. One of the other things, of course, is tracks, signs on the ground. We'll look at some tracks later on if we see some nice ones. Dung is obviously something that is a very visual sign of what's around. There you can see the impala dung, that's still quite fresh. You can see a little bit of glistening from it almost. That's from probably last night or so. Just dried up a little bit. Lots of impala dung around. There's wildebeest dung around. Obviously often quite wildebeest on this area. We saw some last night. Saw their tracks where they left this morning. Zebras, popular area. Just want to show you the dung inside. Let's break that one open for you. Now we often talk about ruminants. Actually, let's sit down here maybe, Hammer. So we can pick up dung around here. Not quite a million, but some animals marked here a few times. We often speak about ruminants. First of all, most of them bigger one. Some of you might remember this. Well, actually, I think anyone that was with us on that specific drive will remember it. Forgot the exact date. It's just before my last break. Actually, wrote something about it as well. I forgot the date of it, but it was when Karula killed an impala at the base of which tree was it? Was over there, and then later on. Raman, what's up? Yeah.